Hi there, this is Art and Such with my Rainbow Loom tutorial for Horace from Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and he goes with the rest of my set. For this pattern, you're going to need some skin tone, a couple of whites, gray. If you have a lighter shade of gray, or was it darker, you could use a different shade for the legs, black for the feet. The hair, I'll be using the kind of jelly gold. You can also probably get away with a yellow, another kind of yellow. For the bow, you can use kind of purpley maroon, as I'll be doing, or you can go with a red. For the eyes, I'm going to show you using blue beads, and I'm going to do it in a richer blue this time than the light ones I did the first time, just so that it's easier to see on camera. You can also do the eyes with blue bands. I'll show you how to do that as well. Okay, without further ado, let's begin. We're going to do the arms first. Take 2 skin tone bands, wrap them on your hook 1, 2, 3 times. Pull that onto 2 more skin tone bands. Replace the other end, and this will go onto 7 sets of double gray bands. 1, slide it through and replace. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then on to the next arm. You can leave this here or put it on a separate holding hook. I'm just going to keep everything on the same hook for now myself. Take 2 more skin tone bands, wrap them on the hook 1, 2, 3 times again. Pull onto double skin tone bands. That's 2 together. Replace, and onto 7 sets of double gray. Okay, let's do a little bit on the loom now, and then we can add our arms and we'll make our legs right after that. So the loom is in the offset configuration, which means the middle row is just half a step up from the others. We're going to take 2 white bands and lay them from the first center peg to the second peg down in the center, and put down 2 more sets of double white bands right down the middle. Get your grays, and we're going to take 2 from the second center to the second right, and 2 from the second center to the second left, and we're going to come down on excuse me, either side 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times with double gray bands, starting at the second peg down. And in the middle, we're going to go to that 4th peg down and place 4 sets of double gray bands. So that's 1 set from the 4th to the 5th, 2, 3, and 4. And in the middle, you've reached your 8th peg down. You're sitting just below the other 2 sides. And we're going to take 2 grays from the 8th peg down in the center and bring it up diagonally to the 7th peg down on the right. Repeat that for the other side. And let's cap off the center band with the single, place it on, twist and wrap 1, 2, 3 times. Press that down a little. You can put your arms now onto the second pegs down on either side. So we're going to transfer the bands off the hook and onto that second peg down. And again, for the right side, our holding bands are going to be single grays stretched across your third pegs down, your fourth pegs down, and your fifth, and your sixth pegs down, and one more triangle across the seventh. Now, I think that's all good. Let's work on the legs. I'm gonna show you this step by step, but if you find this is too complicated, you can just do a straight chain all the way up. I was trying to get the baggier shorts though, so this is what I'm going to show you how to do. Take 2 black bands, put them on your hook and wrap 1, 2, 3 times. Take 2 more black bands, pull them through your wrapped bands, and replace. 2 black bands, pull it through and replace. And we're going to put this onto 6 sets of double gray bands. And this is the place where, like I said, if you're worried or having trouble, you can go from this place and just add a couple more sets of double bands. To create this effect though, this is what we do. I'm gonna show you on the hook this first time. So I'm gonna take one side of the bands off, and I'll take 2 bands. With my left hand, I'm going to pinch them, put them through one side. This is harder to do by hook, I think. And replace. Now I can put the other side back on. Take 2 bands and pull it through this side that's closer to the end, the side that we had on that other hook. Pull 2 bands through and replace the other side. So we've kind of thickened it up a little bit. Now this will all go onto 2 gray bands, which we'll put it through together here. And now I'm going to show you, this is the same thing. I'm going to show you using my fingers. I'm going to hold one side off. I find this is a little easier because you can control the tension. Grab 2 bands, pull it through the ones that are on the hook. And replace. And repeat on the other side. I can also show you how to do this on the loom. If you're still not getting it, it's okay, just hold on. We'll make the other leg together and I'll do this added part on the loom. Just before we put this aside though, 2 more bands, pull them through. And this goes onto your 7th peg down on the side. Make sure you get all of them and press them down a little bit. I feel like I didn't get one of those. Just pop that over. So we're going to start the same one, the next one in the same way. 2 black bands wrapped 1, 2, 3, pulled onto 2 more black bands, and down to 2 black bands after that. We will do our chain of 6 sets of double gray for the lower leg. And I'll show you again how to add that thicker part, but I'll show you on the loom this time. So what you can do if you want to do it on the loom is lay 2 bands down across the bottom pegs on the middle and the side, and you're going to take one part off of your hook and put that onto the bottom peg, and stretch your other side over to the next bottom peg and loop up each of those. So push back, grab the bottom two, bring it up and forward, push back, grab the bottom two, up and forward, and put your hook through both of those in the same direction if you can, and then onto two gray bands, and then you would repeat it. I'm going to do this on my hook this time. Like I said, I feel like it's a little bit faster for me, it's a little more comfortable, but if this isn't working for you, then definitely by all means use the loom, use another hook, whatever you need to do. This is actually similar, this pattern is similar to the muscle pattern, two more, that I've seen done for some of the Rainbow Loom superheroes. Okay, this goes on to the 7th peg down on the right side. We're ready to loom up the body, and most of the rest of this is pretty easy. So if you come this far, you're doing good. We're going to push back the holding band on that 8th peg and get the top two bands and bring them up and over to the left side. Go inside, get the next two, and bring them over to the right side. You might find to do this part it's easy for you, or it helps you to turn your loom around to a different angle, or to use your hook or fingers to pull out the bands you're looking for. It will help separate them and can help you to see them and grab them better. We're going to loop up on the side closest to you. You want to get the sets of double bands that are coming along. So we're going to push back everything with the open part of the hook facing up and away. Grab the bottom two, bring them up and over, and lay them down onto the next peg. Push back your triangle holding band, grab your bottom two, bring it over, and we'll continue that way until we get to the 2nd peg from the top. At this point you want to reach inside for the bottom two and bring them to the 2nd peg down in the middle. Again, some of these are a little bit tricky to see, so you can always turn your loom around, adjust the angle. Bottom two, bring them forward. Bottom two, we're going to go up the right side in the same way. Reach through under the arm, grab the bottom two, bring them to the 2nd peg down in the center. Now we're going to go to the 7th peg down in the middle row. Take your bottom two, bring them forward. There oughtn't to be much in your way going up here. We're going to loom straight to the top, and when you get to the 2nd peg from the top, be very careful. We've got a few bands here, and you only want the bottom two white ones. Grab them and bring them to the top. You can loosen the bands on your loom, but make sure you keep a hold on the ones on the top center peg. That's what's holding this all together. You want to do this carefully, and you're going to use the back part of your hook where you can, because if you grab your elastics with the front, it'll be hard to get your hook out, and you risk pulling at and breaking your bands. Once most of the body's off, you can put your hook through the bands in the top center peg, make sure you've got them all, and remove the body from the loom. I'm going to show you a little later how to connect the legs here so they don't flop about, but we're going to put that aside for the moment and start on the hair and the face. Take the color you're using for your hair, in my case it's gold, 2 bands from the top center to the top right, 2 from the top center to the top left, and come down on each row once with double gold bands. Move to your skin tone. We're going to come down 3 times with double bands in the center, and 2 times with double bands on either side. So your center, you're going to loom and place bands until the 5th peg down. Either side you're going to go until the 4th peg down. Another band here. Now I didn't make his Horace's big floppy ears. You can add that if you want to do a little more detail by wrapping a band and pulling it onto a doubled over band. Doubled over band looks like this. We're going to make one of those for the face actually, so I'll show you that again. But like I said, I've chosen to do it without the ear. Doubled over band, stretch, twist, bring it back on top of itself. Lay that across your 2nd pegs down, and we're going to do the same across the 4th pegs down. Just before we place, we'll place the body and then I'll show you the eyes. Decide which side of your body you want to be facing up, and I can't decide. I think I like this side. I'm going to flip my hook through on around, and we're going to lay this down onto the 5th peg in the center. If you're concerned about these bands being in the way, you can stretch the neck down and put it over a nearby peg, like so. I'm just going to leave it there for now. Okay, I wasn't going to say anything else about that. For the eyes, really quickly, if you're using bands, you can use white and blue or a darker blue. We take a single wrap 1, 2, 3 times, another single wrap 1, 2, 3 times, pull both together onto a single skin tone band, and this will go onto the 3rd pegs down on either side. If you're using beads with larger holes, you can put them onto the hook. I'll quickly show you what that looks like too. Just like so. And then put your skin tone band on, slide them over. For beads with smaller holes, what we do is get a piece of floss or thin wire, or you can use a needle or thread. Lots of options there. Run it through your 2 beads. You can pause the video now if you need to get something to bead with. We're going to put the floss or wire through a skin tone band, bring it back over and back through both, and this should allow it to slide onto the band. Pinch and slide. You can also use a white bead, a white pony bead, or white pearl bead and draw on the pupils. You've probably seen me do this in some of my other videos. Regardless of the kind of eyes you've chosen to make, the band that they're sitting on will go onto the 3rd pegs down on either side, and you want to put your hook into that band, separate between the eyes, and pull it over your 3rd peg down in the middle. Okay, we're ready to loop this up, and then we've just got the little bow tie to make. Hook goes into the 5th peg down. You're going to find the top 2 bands that are under that white, and carefully bring them up and to the right. I'm going to loop up once. I'm going to loop to the top on the right side, pushing back the holding bands and the band with the eye on it. This way these will be secure. Go back into that 5th peg down, find your next 2 bands and bring them over to the left side. And we can loop up the left side, bottom 2 bands, moving upwards forward, and push back your holding bands. And the middle row, we're going to go back under that, under the neck piece here. Loop up to the top 2, 3, and 4 times. Okay, let's loop into the center, from the top right to the top center, and we're going to go in from the top left to the top center. Get a cold band ready. Take your hook, point the open part away from you, and push your hook through the bands on the top center peg. You want to be able to look right through when you're done and not see any bands in the way. Grab that securing band, put it on the end, pull your hook up, and as you're pulling you want to turn it so the open part faces up. Now you can grab the other side, pull one piece over the other and over the top to create a slip knot. Then you want to hold on to that loop with your finger with a hook or a C-clip and remove Horace from the loom. We'll do his bow, and then well, that's pretty much it. We're doing good here. So you can see these eyes a little better. Feel free to pop them through. I'm going to turn to the back for a minute and put my hook through a couple of bands. Any bands that are kind of close will do. We grab the securing band and slide it under and put that on a C-clip. And you can place this under another nearby band to keep it from flopping about. Okay, now back to the front side. You need to pick out the color you want for your bow. I'm just going to use the purple again. We're going to take a single, wrap it 1, 2, 3 times onto the hook. And I'm going to take 2 bands of the same color and slide them through. And then I'm going to think about the best way to show this. Let's put a hook through one side. And okay, I'm going to get a hold of another band of that color, have that ready. Okay, now I put my hook on the side. I'm just going to take this off for the moment. What we want to do is take the hook from the back to the front near the shoulders. This is sort of like the top chain of the arm part. You can play around a little bit with the setting. You're going to take one side of your bow and pull it to the back through that hole you've just created. And we're going to put this onto that extra band I asked you to have ready. Once that's through, you can put that onto a C-clip and just hold it for a minute there. I'm going to look, this is the back again. I'm going to reach through to the front. Let me put this on the C-clip. That way my hands won't be in the way so much, I hope. Alright, so now I'm reaching through from the other side. I'm going to try and come out at about the same place. And I'm going to put it through the opposite side of the bow and pull that through to the back. So let me turn this around for a minute and pull it through. And this is the back you're looking at. We need to take one side of that purple band off of the C-clip. Bring it through the bands we pulled through on the far side. So underneath. And then this can go back onto the C-clip, or you can take the other side, pull one under the other, and make a slip knot. Will be a little more secure. This can go on the same C-clip, or you can weave it up to the top one where we put the hair on. I'm going to place this under another nearby band. Let's check the front, even it out a little bit. And you might have a bow or a ribbon that you'd like to use instead, or a bead you want to put on, that's fine. The last thing before we finish this off, you can see the legs are kind of floppy. Now this is what we can do for that. Line them up the way you want on the front, turn it to the back, go under 1 or 2 bands on one side, go through 1 or 2 bands on the other side, and we're going to pull it under and through. And this can go onto a C-clip. You'll see it keeps the legs nice and snug together. And you can do the same thing for the arms if you want to cinch them into the side. So there is your horse, and I hope you'll be sure to check out the rest of my Rainbow Loom tutorials for that set. And I thank you for watching.